Jordan Phillips, you are a New York Giant. What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and we're going to break down the signing of the veteran defensive tackle, Jordan Phillips, in today's video. But first, I got to make sure everybody watching is subscribed to the channel, because when the Giants make a move, we make a video. Free, informative, entertaining updates every day on your New York Giants, and we're also going to be live for the NFL Draft. So subscribe and turn your notifications on and help us reach our goal of 46,000 subscribers. Today's Giants Now video by Chat Sports is presented by 8 Sleep. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping. Invest in the rest that you deserve. We'll tell you more about 8 Sleep around the corner. And also, following the signing of Jordan Phillips, there was a Giants beat reporter that hinted that there could be another signing coming for the Giants, so we'll break that down also later in the show. But let's talk about Jordan Phillips, the 31-year-old interior defensive lineman. He spent the last 2 years with the Buffalo Bills, where he ended up starting 9 games. He got his career started in 2015 when he was a second-round pick by the Dolphins. Then he went to Buffalo, then Arizona, and then back to the Buffalo Bills, and that is where he has been the last 2 years. He's appeared in 120 games and started 62 times in his 9-year career. He's had some really good moments in this career, over his career. But over the last 2 seasons, he's seen his play a little bit fall off. Still was solid when it comes to your everyday statistics, when it comes to tackles for loss and sacks and QB hits. But Pro Football Focus has graded him out as one of the worst defensive tackles in the last 2 years. Not saying they are the Holy Bible or they are absolutely everything, end all be all, but I do think it is a metric to look at. Overall, I think he's a solid player, and he's going to come in and help the Giants stuff the run. He is a massive human being, and they needed more depth, especially veteran experience on that defensive line. He had his best year of his career, though, in 2019. He had 31 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks, 16 quarterback hits, and 1 forced fumble. For a guy that's 6'6", 340 pounds, that is an impressive season. I'm not sure if he still has that type of production left in the tank, as he is 31, and that was back in 2019. But it gives me a little bit of hope that there is still a really good football player inside of him, and he can help the Giants get back on track when it comes to stopping the run. I've got more about just Jordan Phillips around the corner, but I want to hear from you. What is your one-word reaction to the signing of Phillips, the veteran defensive tackle? Let me know yours down in the comment section. For mine is sneaky. It is a sneaky good signing for Big Blue. I know the raw numbers are not anything that's going to fly off the charts. There's a reason that this player is a free agent, as we are just 2 weeks away from the NFL Draft, but it lines up with the need. There is production, and he's someone that has familiarity with the New York Giants dating back to his time with the Buffalo Bills. And I think now that you look at this defensive line depth chart for the Giants, it's a little bit more scary. We already know with the addition of Brian Burns, we are one of the most talented defensive lines in this league. Dexter Lawrence, in my opinion, the best nose tackle DT in the NFL. And Kayvon Thibodeau, coming off his second year in the NFL, having double-digit sacks for the first time, is only going to get better and better. Now Raheem Nunez-Roches, he goes to really your first interior defensive lineman off the bench, and that fits him, and that's really his role. You still got Azeez Ojulari, who I think is going to bounce back this year if he can't stay healthy. Major if, but the addition of Phillips is absolutely going to help this ball club. You look at where he's lined up on the football field over the past couple of years, and he's really more so an interior defensive lineup. If you look at the AGP, the number of players snapped lined up on the D-line as a nose tackle, he's done that over 367 times in his career, did that 23 times last year. If you talk about number of snaps where the player lined up on the D-line as the DT, which is BGP, he has done that 2,490 times, 231 times last year. So he's going to line up at that nose tackle position or lined up as the D lineman, as the D tackle. So he's a nose tackle, D tackle, and this is really your A'Shawn Robinson replacement who left you in free agency after spending 1 year with the Giants. I thought that Robinson was a pretty good football player last year, started to heat up as the season went on, and he really did what we expected. him to do, which is stop the run. One of the best defensive linemen in this league over the past couple of seasons at stopping the run. Hated to see him go, but the addition of Phillips kind of helps with that loss. Still a priority position for me in the NFL draft. Would not be mad at all if the Giants looked in the second round or the third round to fill that need, but I do like the addition. I want you to grade the signing for me before we talk about maybe another signing coming up around the corner, as Giants beat reporters are hinting that another move could be coming. But grade the signing of Phillips for me, A, B, C, D, or F. I got to tell you guys more about our proud sponsor, 8Sleep. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping. Invest in the rest that you deserve. Giants Now, today's episode is presented by 8Sleep, the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. 8Sleep's Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing heating and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. I love 8Sleep because it has totally stopped my night sweats. I'm someone that even when it's 30 degrees outside and it's 68 degrees in the house and I got the fan on, I still found a way to sweat in my sleep. And that was until I got hooked up with the pod cover, which improves your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet and allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. In addition to keeping you at the perfect temperature all night long, the pod also tracks your sleep and health metrics. On average, pod users see their sleep quality improve by 32% after just a month on the pod. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8Sleep. Invest in the rest that you deserve. I promise you guys need to check this thing out. It's changed my life. It could do the same for yours. I'll make sure to put all that information in the comments, and I'll make it clickable as well. Shout out to 8Sleep. All right, let's close the show talking about what Ryan Dunleavy, Giants insider, had to say following the signing of Jordan Phillips. He said it was a smart signing by Big Blue. But he also said, I'd expect a similar move at the cornerback position either before or soon after the NFL draft. And my, oh my, is this music to my ears as we have been talking about a potential move at the cornerback position for what seems like months now on this channel. The Giants have to add another talented individual that has had success in this league at the cornerback position. Your number one corner is Deonte Banks, who had a really good rookie year after being selected in the first round last year. But outside of him, you have a whole bunch of question marks on your roster. Nick McLeod is a solid depth piece. He can give you some production playing out of the slot sometimes, but I don't always want him on the football field. Cordell Flott, who I was begging to win the slot position last year, hasn't just lived up to the hype of being a third-round pick at LSU 2 years ago. Trey Hawkins proved to everybody that he is not ready to play in the NFL after being a sixth-round pick last year at Old Dominion. Aaron Robinson barely has played in the last 2 years. Darnay Holmes is back on a veteran minimum one-year deal. And outside of that, you don't really have much on this roster. So I'm hoping that Dunleavy is right and the Giants are going to go out and sign a veteran corner. One of those guys I would like them to look at is Xavien Howard, the 30-year-old cornerback who spent almost entirely his career with the Miami Dolphins. I'm a big fan of Howard, and I still think he has some really good football to be played. Last year was not one of his best years. He's getting older. He's not the guy that once led the league in pass breakups and interceptions. But he's absolutely someone that could complement Deonte Banks on the other side of the field, where he only allowed 2 touchdowns, had 12 pass breakups, and had an interception. Only allowed completion percentage of 62% and only 500 yards. I think Xavien Howard makes a lot of sense to come play with the Giants. Another veteran corner I am looking at is Stephon Gilmore. A lot of the things that I said about Howard apply to Gilmore. He's been there. He's done that. He's probably on his way to going into the Hall of Fame. And I want someone like that to be able to teach and mentor Deonte Banks. And I think Stephon Gilmore is still maybe a top 10 corner in this league. 13 pass breakups last year, 2 interceptions, and he's been doing it his entire career. Had 11 PBUs in 2022. He had 2 interceptions in 2021, and he also had 3 pass breakups in 2020. Still a good football player. He's a great captain. He's a leader. I would love to see him come play for the Giants. If you want to go the absolute cheap way, you could look at a veteran that also is probably going into the Hall of Fame, but his play has absolutely diminished, and that is Patrick Peterson, who is 33 years old. Didn't really play all that well for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, but he gives you someone else who's played in this league at a high level, has seen every offense, knows every scheme, is a coach on the football field, and can help Deonte Banks. Notice I said that about all three of these players. That's the type of guy I want to bring into this football team. Can still produce and can help a young cornerback room that is full of young and hopefully potential field players. Get somebody in here that can help Deonte Banks on the field as much as off the field. So to close today's show, I want to ask you this question. If you could only choose one of these veteran cornerbacks, who would you want to be a member of this football team? Type the initials of Xavien Howard, Stephon Gilmore, or Patrick Peterson down in the comment section. If I had to choose, it is Stephon Gilmore, and it's really not all that close. You may have to pay him a little bit of money, maybe 1 year, $6 million, 1 year, $7 million, maybe somewhere a little bit more, a little bit less, but I think it's worth it because he makes your football team better now, and while he won't be a part of this team in the future, he's helping the players now that will be a part of this future get better. Deonte Banks, maybe a guy like Trey Hawkins can benefit from his tutelage. Maybe a guy you draft in the draft can help learn from him. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think the Giants should pull the trigger. Maybe they will in the next couple of days. If they do, a place you can find out about it is on my social media at @MarshallGreen_. I'm on Twitter, and I'm trying to up my Instagram game as well. I need your help over there. Give me a follow. Hit me up. And reminder, we will be live for the NFL draft for day 1, day 2, and day 3 here on New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. So subscribe, turn notifications on, because I want you to be here when we find out who's going to be playing for this team next season.